dungeon will we do? But yeah, Holy Knight is... Ooh, Shado-Pan.
Do you seek my
Good, you have come. Good. It's a common situation. Our war town zoo has been overcome by sharp pure hatred. Whole monster has been lost. Let's find a way to free him.
Beware.
Insolent outsiders! The Shado-Pan need no outside aid. Remove
It's
these
too far away.
interlopers. Quickly, let me make room for this. Approach.
That's still a trick. I can't cast that.
No, we're actually really having to kill a lot of Shado-Pan members, aren't we?
Let me show you my power. Come to me, serpent. Together, we will destroy these intruders.
That's still a trick.
No. Damn it. Soft targeting.
Someone charge me with your power.
Heal team.
The energy is strong.
Heal team. Heal team.
No, do not fail me.
That's still recharging.
Heal team.
Together, we fail.
Oh, I just noticed that's a parry necklace. Shit. Yee. We're having to kill a fair few of the monks here, aren't we? But yeah, sorry for looping. Just just how my head goes sometimes. I just kind of end up just feeling like I'm not expressing myself right. I'm not explaining something well, and I just keep going around in circles the whole time. And I just don't know how to pull myself out. Will not tolerate those who only shop on our land. Welcome, outsiders. Master Snowdrift is waiting inside school. Remember, show proper respect.
You have allowed the Shah to reawaken after all these years. If you truly wish to undo what your kind have wrought upon our land, you must first prove yourself here in our school. First, you will face our initiates.
It's too far away. I can't cast that. That spell isn't ready.
I'm not sure the point of doing it this way.
I can't cast that. That spell isn't ready.
Much to learn.
I
If you
can't
wish to
cast that.
defend your people
That spell
from the
isn't
Shah,
ready.
stand aside for your fellow
I
students.
can't cast that.
Where one falls, another will rise to take their place. You have much to learn. Best if you wish to defend your people from the Shah. Now you will face stand aside for your fellow students. Flying snow, fragrant lotus, step forward.
But yeah, sorry for. I'll say this last time and I'll stop. I know. Sometimes my brain just gets stuck in a loop and I have difficulty snapping out of it.
That's still recharged.
You have bested my prize students. Perhaps you can be of use to us after all. As my master once said, you cannot truly know someone until you fight them. Come forward, so that we may be properly introduced. Very well then, outsiders. Let us see your true strength.
I can't cast that.
But yeah, sorry for looping, it's just my head ends up stuck and it just can't get off the point. And in this case, it felt like I just wasn't properly able to express the thing well enough. That I wasn't doing the manhwa justice, or I was just describing what happened in the first chapter rather than giving a proper sales pitch. And, you know,
With a weapon,
I was just getting all sorts of
one's martial strength.
insecure about it.
Let me show you what spiritual power is.
I need that spell isn't ready. That's still recharged. I can't cast that. That's still recharged. need a target. That spell isn't ready. Yes, I can't cast that. That's still recharged.
When I was but a
I
coward,
can't
I
cast
could
that.
scarcely
That
throw
spell
a
isn't
punch.
ready.
But after years of
That's
training,
still recharged.
I can do so
I
much
can't
more.
cast that.
Run.
That spell isn't ready. Yes, I can't cast that.
Tank trinket. Prove yourself in battle. Still, if you would aid us further, I must ask some of you. Draw violence waits beyond. Okay, let's try to loop again. I won't let go. I'm sorry for that. It's just how I go at times. It's how my head is. I choose to believe it's something I can get better about. No. Ooh. The mage survive? Mage, yeah. Mage healer is not a thing here. Oh, my shoulder. Fuck. The pain. I was thinking of getting a drink, but fuck. I need to have a stack of food on me. The region has been too nice to me. I end up missing out on food buffs.
It's too far away. That spell isn't ready.
Okay, I can adjust my position again.
Not be caged again. The Shado-Pan will not stop me.
That spell isn't ready. I can't cast that. I need to get closer. I can't cast that.
Okay. He's worried of being caged again. I don't plan on caging you again. I'm just gonna put a sword in your face. I'm gonna solve the Shah violence issue with violence. Apparently in midnight there's gonna be another stat crunch. Full aggro? Jesus. Oh, he's off for a moment. I'll heal myself. Never really have to worry about that. I don't have recount up, and I don't know how to get it up on the fly quickly.
I'm out of range. I can't cast that. That's still required. I can't cast that.
I thought of the stat crunch because looking at the Shah violence things is kind of ridiculous. Ah, shame. Seven ore, very nice. I wonder about stat crunch. Is that something, like say something like FF14 is gonna have to worry about soon?
Tanzu and the Shado-Pan are mine. Come forward and die by my hand. As we consume, we shall conquer all to come.
I can't cast that.
Okay,
Collapse.
I'm gonna have to manage here.
That's still retro. That spell isn't ready. I need to get closer. I can't cast that. That spell isn't ready. That's still retro. I can't cast that. That's still retro. I can't cast that. That spell isn't ready. It's too far away. That spell isn't ready.
Killads.
That's still retro. I can't cast that. Spell isn't ready. I need to get close. I'm out of range. That's still retro. I can't cast that. That's still retro. Spell isn't ready. I can't cast that. That's still retro. Spell isn't ready. That's still retro. It's too far away. That spell isn't ready. I can't cast that.
Sounds going weird there. I need to turn that jingle off. Just to be safe.
The Shah of hatred has fled my body, and the monastery as well. I must thank you, strangers. The Shado-Pan are in your debt. Now, there is much work to be done.
None. Just to be safe. Oh, actually, since they're all gone, I could fiddle with those. Don't know what Gooshers is. I'd love to have like the Final Fantasy music playing here and shit, but no, I can't justify it. I don't want that happening to my channel, you know. I tried to ask Square Enix what was their video policy before, and I was informed instead that I'm not even allowed to take screenshots. Even that's violating their, you know, policies on it. So using music from their games, oy, probably even worse.
What do you need?
You've defeated Shah of Islands and saved the monastery. You'll have my respect. You're also wrong about your people, Desik.
Enough of that.
Thank you, Paladin. I am cleansed of all hatred. Know that you're a hero of the Shado-Pan. And that's it? Not really much of a payoff, is it? Damn it, I did aggro it. Well, let's just keep running and oh, damn it, dismounted. was going to run back and see if the guy had anything new to say, the initial dude. Because it's like, after all the quests down there, and then you come up here, and there's this like, oh god, the monastery's been taken over by the Shah. And then just that. Okay, we're back. That being the end of it, it's kind of, it's anticlimactic. It's kind of anticlimactic to go through those quests. Like, you go through the whole zone, and it builds up to the Shado-Pan being something being wrong with the Shado-Pan, and you fend off a Yongo attack. You go up to the monastery, and they've been overtaken by the Shah. You go into the monastery. You have to strike so many down, but you manage to save their leader, and that's just the end of it. The story, the quest line just ends there with no real resolution to it. And then you just continue, you just leave and go on to the next place. There isn't a proper flow to it, and like, connective lead on, I'll do it when we're in a better place. Oh yeah.
Heyo.
First EV, no Han. It's too late again.
All right, until next time. He may never know the peace of returning to the earth, but at least he went out fighting. Come on, there is nothing more to be done. I am going on ahead. They say Mama Stormstout is still out there somewhere.
I kind of wish we had the ability to actually, let the guy out. Because we still have the resonating thing. We can free the dude.
Down. Have a drink.
Anyway. We've got some clarity. So, what was it? Yeah, I remember now. So, you start here. You do your quests. You flow up this way. You hit up the Temple of the White Tiger. You go over here. You go around. You go over here and do all the quests over here. You come back. You continue along your way. I'm just kind of going the way I went. You go down here to Shado-Pan Fallback, and you help fend off the Yongo attack, the infested Yongo attack. And the monster's not sending reinforcements. Something's wrong. What could it be? So they're building up mystery. Is the monster under such heavy attack? What's going on? And so you go over here, and it's under attack, but they're right at the foot of the monastery. And they're not getting getting reinforcements themselves. So they have to you have to help them fend off the attack, and then you take the opening you get to go up to the monastery. And you discover that the Shado-Pan themselves have been overtaken by the Shah. And so this is a very dramatic, thing to happen, as a climax to the zone. The dungeon of the zone and the climax to it. So you get your friends together and you go in to the monastery. You have to strike down one of the leaders of the place, Cloudstrike. You duel Snowdrift to earn his respect. You strike down the Shah of Violence, and then you go up against Taran Zu, who's corrupted, and you free him. And it just ends there. He just says, "I am free of all hatred," or "I'm free of all hatred," and that's the end of it. That's it's done. There's no real continuance. Like you do go head to Townlong Steps, and like this, it's just things continue, but it does feel like there's a missing story beat of kind of like a connective tissue between the end of the dungeon and you going into Townlong Steps. There's kind of a missing connective tissue there. Like, as much as I dislike the mistranslations in FF14, which is why I'm not continuing it, well, I'm thinking, like, I have footage already recorded of FF14 that I've to get onto editing. It's going to be coming after a fair chunk of EVE Online footage. I've got like 30 odd episodes of it, of EVE Online, and then I'll be hitting up FF14. But, and then I'll be going back between EVE Online and FF14, then RuneScape and FF14. I'm thinking of continuing FF14 till I fight Ravana. I fight Ravana, and then I'll be calling it. There's one reason for it, and Ravana is a great song, and that's it. I've sang along with it a ton, and I just want to fight the boss once and hear it playing. But and thankfully it seems like he's going to be the next boss I have to fight, so it's not too far away from where I am at in the game. But yeah, because of the mistranslations within FF14, I don't plan on playing past that point. But even then, I have to say, with the way the dungeons are in FF14, the way they're structured, and the flow of the quests within FF14, they're better than what WoW is. I actually quite like FF14. The issue I have with it is the chronic mistranslations to it. The game is poorly translated. It's grotesquely translated. And I can't justify playing it, given how it is. I just can't. So I'm not going to. Simple as. Oh, my shoulder fucking hurts. But I like, as for all the complaints I have about the translation and whatnot, they do have a better flow to it than WoW does. Like, you do this zone and you see all the different storylines going on in it, and they want to cap it off with this monastery dungeon. All right, that sounds fine. That's, it's a good idea. What they have here is good, but they don't cap it off well. What happens instead is it just kind of like, you free Taran Zu. He says he's free of hatred, and that's the end of it. That's the end of the storyline here. He's just like, I'm free of hatred. And there's no continuance, there's no breadcrumb to the next zone, to Townlong Steps. It's just done. And that sucks, There's no real connect, making the dungeon part of the world kind of thing, It's just, it just ends up feeling too disconnected, It is a flaw in the design. Like, it should lead you from Shado-Pan Monastery to Townlong Steps. Maybe the fact I've already gone to Townlong Steps has thrown it off. Like, remember back here in the Wilds, there was like 3 quests leading you to up here, and yeah, there's 3 quests leading you to up here, and you can only grab one of them. And then for me, I swear one of them disappeared, and so I couldn't have any of them. But or maybe I'd really turned it in and not even realized. But so yeah, basically, provided the quest just didn't disappear because I'd already done here or had the other quest in my inventory, uh, I'd already turned that in. Well, yeah, provided it didn't just not spawn because I'd already done the quest line here. Um, there needs to be a better connective tissue with stuff. If you want to use the dungeons as a capstone to a zone, then you want to have there be a proper continuance between the end of the dungeon story and continuing into the open world story. You know, FF14 does it much better. Even if the translation is banjaxed, it does a much better job of leading from one thing, like a dungeon, leading into the dungeon content and then out of the dungeon content back into the world. It does a much better connective tissue. So it's something WoW could do better at. But one thing is that WoW doesn't make dungeons mandatory to do like FF14 does. And the way FF14 gets around, if you haven't played it, the way or watched my videos on it, the way FF14 gets around having dungeons be mandatory, is that see this dungeon finder here. This is just set to random Miss Pandaria dungeon heroic. In um, in FF14, you can have random dungeon and then random dungeon based on like I guess the expansion you're working on like or like your level bracket, or you can have any dungeon in the game. So I sign up for random dungeon and I get de-leveled down to Dead Mines territory. So I know 13 to 17, whatever. I get leveled down to 17 and I'm restricted to level 17 abilities, and I have to fight in the dungeon like I'm a very well geared level 17. All my gear will be tiered down to level 17 territory. And I have to fight as if I'm a level 17. I will actively lose abilities to do this. But I get fair XP for it. It's actually one of the faster ways to level. I remember. It's where I remember hearing. It's one of the faster ways of leveling, and like there's generous rewards for it, so they can get away with having these dungeons be mandatory because you'll have people at the opposite end of the content being dragged back to help you with it. So someone could be, maxed out and just doing a random dungeon, or in the latest expansion and doing a random dungeon, and they get dragged back to a realm reborn to help out with one of those dungeons. Same with the duties. Same with raids. You can then be like you could be in Wrath of the Lich King and get dragged back to help with Encourage. You could be, in the War Within and get dragged back to help with Tempest Keep. You know, the way FF14 does it really allows for dungeons to be made and raids to be made part of the story and you're forced to do them because people are made to help. And they get rewarded for it. So it's win-win, you know? I would like to find a new MMO, personally. I just don't know what. So many are either riddled with microtransactions or have shoddy writing or shoddy translation. Some are have other issues like being like mechanically shit. But just in the experience of what I've played, they're either poorly written or gouging. Uh, RuneScape is tedious. I can't play that anymore. So yeah, so there's no real replacement for me, you know. I would like an MMO where they took the story seriously, which FF14 seems to do, but it's poorly translated, so I can't justify playing it because the translators don't take the story seriously. And so, like, I could easily, I could try and replace WoW with that. I'm so tired. I could try and replace WoW with FF14, but with the way the translators are, I can't justify it. I know when I was playing it at the time that I was kind of, I couldn't really get into it because they play differently to WoW, but I I'm gonna get a drink. I know last time I was playing it in Heaven's Word, I was actually getting into it. I had gotten over whatever foible or gripes I had about it. So what am I trying to say? I know back when I was playing it previously, I had an issue getting into it because I've I know a lot of people in Ireland say sound as a you know what like as a positive statement, like someone's sound or it's good or whatever. So Valen there might be Irish, unless that's a more common thing than I think. But so like I know back when I was playing FF14 before, I couldn't fully get into it because of how different it was to WoW. WoW kind of spoiled me. But I think if it was better translated, I would make the effort to really get into it, and I was doing well with Heaven's Ward of really getting into it. But I just can't justify playing it given the fact that I'm not actually getting FF14 story. I'm getting a bastardization of FF14 story. And I can't justify paying money for that. I can't justify dealing with that. So I need an MMO that's well written, doesn't have translation issues, and is mechanically good. And I just don't know of any. You know? I remember hearing of City of Heroes. It's gone down years ago, but there is a private server that's gotten the official go-ahead, so I could record some footage of that, probably. I always like MMOs, but like I said, the whole thing is fucked. I'm tempted in giving Guild Wars 2 another look, but like it seemed mechanically fine, and it seemed finely written. Like there was no issue with the writing, but like mechanics were fine and writing was fine, but it was very microtransaction heavy. So I'm not happy with that. Like the lockboxes here in WoW that you get from killing random enemies. You can grab that, you can get them in Guild Wars, but you can't unlock them unless you pay real money. You can get one key a week for free. I believe that's the cap. If that isn't the cap, I think it's 3. So 1 to 3 keys a week for free. After that, you have to pay money. But here's the thing: you'll get more than 3 chests a week. So they end up just taking up inventory space or bank space. And I don't think they stack. So it really pushes you to maintain your free space by spending money to get rid of the ever-growing chest issue. Or just deleting them. Which obviously no one likes the idea of just deleting a treasure chest. Like you dig up a pirate's lost treasure and just immediately huck it into the nearby volcano. No one wants to fucking do that. Unless you're a lunatic. So I'll give Guild Wars 2 another try on principle, but I don't think I could really get into it with how microtransaction heavy it is. Um, I just don't jive with that at all. So I really feel like there isn't a MMO for me out there. So, meh. You got the makings of a fine brew garden guard, Draenei. Let me know if you ever get tired of the whole paladin thing.
White Tiger watch.
And it's encased in Tomb of Amber. See, that's another thing I kind of hate. We started this whole quest chain because we were directed here by the Mantid. And so we know of the fact that this amber is something that can be broken. We in fact have the tuning fork to break it. At any moment, we could have spared Chen the misery of losing a loved one, of a prospective loved one. He's family, and Chen does value the family even if he hasn't met them yet. But, so we could easily just free the guy and that be that. But we can't do it, you know? Either we're going to do it later on in the quest chain, or something else is going to happen to free the dude. But maybe this is an issue of the fact that you could just go from there and start the quest chain over here. There's not like gating on it to make it so that you can only start it post-Mantid. The Mantid is a breadcrumb, but it's not the starting point for it. The Mantid leads you here, but you can also come here of your own accord and start the quest chain anyway. So it wouldn't make sense for you to be able to free Han if you aren't sent here by the Mantid. So, since they didn't gate this properly, you can't free him yourself. He'll have to be freed later on, and so if you get sent here by the Mantid, you end up coming off as incredibly callous and leaving Chen to pointlessly grieve. It's not great. It comes off as really shitty. I think that was coherent. Basically, I think you could probably come here without being sent here by the Mantid and do the quests here without being sent here by the Mantid. Which is the reason why we aren't freeing this guy. Because if we weren't sent here by the Mantid, then, like, say if we haven't done the quests down south, then we wouldn't have a clue of how to free these guys yet. If we just, say, stopped the Shaw of Hatred and then came straight here, we wouldn't have a clue about that. We wouldn't have a clue about the Calaxy or anything else. So we wouldn't have a chance of freeing this guy. And so he would have to get freed later on through whatever other means. And that makes sense. That flows. But since we're sent here by the Calaxy, we've already know how to free people from this. And we've done so many times already. So the fact we aren't freeing them comes off as incredibly callous and just generally shitty. So it's the issue with not properly gating things and doing pre-requests and whatnot.
Oh, hello.
There's a crook. The daggers. They're bound together into a forked blade. We're on the right track. Knew this wasn't a beer
May
recipe.
your days bring you joy.
Ah, I can actually read it. Scroll of Auspice. Yeah. When the horror comes arising, and the heavens hum with war, our great vessel of salvation must be broken from its core. Rending daggers of the great ones shall be bound with wood and shade, if the fiery wings of sunset kings are ever to be stayed. Incantations fey and primal, bought on promises of gold, bind the glamour to the thing that quenches fires and fears of old. Comprehend the sacred recipe, perform it as I've penned, drive its fruit through blood of ancients, and your terror war shall end.
What wisdom do you seek?
We don't brew wood here. Gives the brew a harsh, insipid flavor, not unlike that of wine. Vu spits. Unlike normal lumber, this wood is soft, pliable, and sweet smelling.
May the red
I'll get these pieces prepared. I've already gathered quite a few of these recipes. I'll have to get a pot boiling soon.
May you find mastery in your
Or they have.
family.
Owen had a clever idea. Thinks that we should visit the sprites to the west and ask them if they have any of these ingredients. Some of the elements to this recipe are seeming strange. The Rickerton sprites have a village to the west of Corvus. I hope to see you there, Desik.
Hold down.
Come on, Owen. Brute calls. Yeah, beer. Where are you two going? Nowhere. Rickerton village. Rickerton. That's it. Incantations Fey and Primal. I must refer to the Rickerton sprites. I'm going to. See you there, Desik. Well, it may not refer to exactly to that village. Who knows how old this scroll is? It's meant to be ancient. So, that village may not be quite as old. The actual, like, the anthropology is being ignored here. Anthropology is the wrong word, but, you know, the, dating your riddle. It's a kind of important, you know? And they're kind of, skipping out on that. But still, sprites may be able to help. If it's sprite magic, they may be, you know, able to help on it. If I didn't feel a genocidal urge whenever I saw them. But yeah, when you're trying to work out an ancient puzzle, you kind of have to think in the mind of whoever wrote it, not in what's available now. What's available now may not be available then. It's great if it is, but it may not be. Zumba, Sprite Zumba. Hey, we're just in time for the Sprite Zumba class. Aw, aren't they just so adorable? Come on, let's squeeze into our activewear. Yeah, let's shrunk in the wash that last time we exercised. It's just... some of them are kind of just random. They're just a joke. Throwaway faff. It does kind of look like a goddamn exercise class, doesn't it? But, oh, yeah. The blades joined together there. Scarab. But, yeah, some of those things introduced by the mod are kind of faff, but, or just like a joke or whatnot. But others do actually give great trivia, quotes from developers or whatnot. Point out Easter eggs, point out collectibles. They can actually be damn useful. Others are a bit of a letdown in comparison because it's just a rando joke, and so often they have a different sense of humor to me, so it doesn't quite land for me.